Right, hello, and hopefully I'm going to keep this under 15 minutes. So today I was listening to Airland Radio, which is a rare thing for me to do at work, simply because they're so blimmin' anal about, like, you can't wear earphones, you can't listen to radios, you can't do this, it's just the industry I'm in. But thankfully, I've had a hat on that covers my ears, and I've had my earpods on, and I've not had anybody say anything to me. So they've either seen it and just dismissing it or not. So thankfully I've been listening to Airland Radio. And because of that, I heard a beer review that Cami from K52 MPD sent in today. And from that review, I've gone and bought the beer. I didn't even have a clue this beer was out there. Now, don't get me wrong. Before I go forward, this is going to be by no means a super duper craft beer, but it has a really good story from it. But what I'm trying to say is if you're listening to Ellen Radio, do send in your beer reviews. They don't have to be long. They don't have to be professional. We don't have to be professional people to talk about a beer. You don't have to know anything about the beer. It's just about what the beer is, what you think it tastes like. It's all subjective. So how Cammy has tasted this beer, I might not taste it. And it doesn't really matter. It's all what we like and what we don't like and everything else. But I'm glad that he sent it in because I thought, oh, this sounds really interesting. So this is called Another Round, brewed in partnership with Toast Brewing. So Toast Brewing, I've got some information. I get the feeling Crafty Beer Lad sent me a beer that was brewed through Toast Brewing. I remember it being quite good. Now, the Hop Foundation here is basically, it's a oh, sorry, I was just speaking the tongues then. The Hop Foundation is a brand of beer for Aldi store starting in 2023. What I've researched, right? Quite hard to research it, really. It just kept saying the Hop Foundry is an Aldi brand of beer brewed in partnership with an independent brewery. Like it says, with independent brewery partner. Whatever that means, I don't know. Does it mean that they're brewing it with this Toast as a partner and then somebody else as a partner? I know they've done some with William Brothers, I've heard. But anyway, nice can. Toast Brewing. Another room, brewing in partnership with Toast Brewing, session IPA, 3.4%. Not going to blow you away, not going to light your fire. But basically, it's brewed with surplus Aldi Tiger bread. Now, let me just read this very quickly here before I pour it out. Toast Brewery, our story. Did you know some of the earliest beers were made using wild yeast to ferment baked grains? Very similar to bread. It was an epic way of working with nature to preserve food. Nowadays, as humans produce a lot of bread using land, water and energy, but about 44% is wasted. How I read things is terrible. I'm trying to do it fast. There's a similar story for all the food. Food production is the biggest contribution to climate change, but 1/3 of all food is wasted. And it's a bit of a shame, really, because a lot of wasted food can't be given to people who need that food because of it might, it's gone out of date or it's whatever, but there's people out there that are starving and need food and seriously, they wouldn't mind a little bit of slightly out of date bread. You know what I mean? I know if I was starving and needed the food, I'd eat anything as long as it ain't going to kill me. And a little bit of out-of-date bread ain't going to kill no one. But anyway, so since 2016, we've saved so many slices of bread that stacked up together. If stacked together, they'd be nearly 5 times the height of Mount Everest. Oh my God. We're on a mission by fighting food waste, advocating for nature, and giving all our profits to the charities protecting the natural world we love. Join us and let's raise a toast to planet Earth. However I've read that, I don't know. But if you go on Toast Brewery's website, it's all there and it can be read by somebody who can actually read rather than me. Anyway, let's get this Session IPA beer into a glass, into a Spencer Arms glass, because that's what it's going to be. And see what this 3.4% beer can give us. Very, very light. It looks almost like, it doesn't look the colour that it's coming into the glass. It looks very light coming out of the can, almost watercolour. However, into the glass, it's looking fairly sort of like golden, light strawberry golden colour. Now, I particularly I'm a big fan of Aldi. We shop at Aldi. We shop at Sainsbury's, shop at Morrison's, shop at Asda. You know, we shop independently as well if we can. You know, like down the garage, all that sort of stuff. I love Aldi's Tiger Bread. I love it. And the thing is, you know, they say like beer of sort of like German, Belgium, and things, all beers like that. You can say that they're liquid bread. They talks about the saison beer and that being sort of liquid bread. It's got quite a nice nose on it. I'll give it that. Now, I know there's been a lot of like knocking of this. I look at it a bit different. I'm going to look at it for what it is. It's Aldi going in partnership with an independent brewing partner, and then collaborating with, or whether they're the partner, Toast Brewing, who are really like doing a great thing. They're doing a great thing, right? And brewing this beer from the surplus bread that would just get thrown away, right? Which is a really bad thing. I hate food waste. I am a big. I'm trying to like just keep it there. There we go. Look, I'm a big fan of eating everything on my plate. I don't like wasting food. I hate it if food gets wasted. It is something that like grinds my gears, because I know there's people that really would appreciate that food that we've just scraped into the bin. Sometimes it's happened, you know, but not very often. But anyway, in the glass, looking not bad at all. Very light coloured straw, very light diluted orange type of colour. Now, I heard Cammy say today that you could taste the Tiger Bread in here. So let's see what it says on the can. A juicy, hazy session IPA crafted, blah, blah, blah. English Harlequin and Earnest hops give a citrusy burst with notes of peach and passion fruit. Now, I did actually get a citrusy smell in that. There is a very nice citrusy smell. In fact, that actually almost smells like, that's almost giving off a Galaxy hop aroma. It's very citrusy, and it is quite, there's a nice aroma on that. It's not got a very tight head. So I'm getting quite a bit of aroma. That smells nice. I hope it tastes as good as it smells. Right, let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. First beer of the night on my non-drinking from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. This is Tuesday, not going well. Cheers. Do you know what? That ain't bad. It's 3.4%. It's a session IPA. That ain't bad. Slight dryness on the back end. Sweet up front. Not quite getting that Tiger Bread taste, have to admit. There's an orangey peel taste in there. I get that quite. I'm quite pleased about this. I've seen another one that the Hop Foundation had done, and it said, I think it's something like a juice infused. As soon as I seen, basically it was like juice flavourings or whatever. That was, I wasn't going to touch that. It's not for me at all. No matter how good it is, it's just not for me. This tastes like it's got a natural flavour from the hops. I quite like that. It's not got a very big body, as you wouldn't expect it from a 3.4% beer. I'm still not getting any kind of bready taste, but there was a slight sweet malt taste there. Definitely an orangey peel, orange zest taste, which is very different to if you taste orange juice. So really, if you're going to get the fruit of an orange, which I do get, if you watch all my reviews that I've done, I've picked up on the orange flavour that hits me quite hard. That's got a orange, zesty, natural orange flavour in there. It doesn't taste like there's an orange juice or anything in that. Nice balanced citrusy flavours. I'm not sure what the Earnest hop is, to be quite honest with you. Yeah, there is a slight more passion fruit in the nose, but it is very, very nicely well balanced citrus flavours. I actually don't think that's bad at all. That is, I'll be quite honest with you, I think that's a decent fridge filler, that is. Now, I know it's going to be knocked. It's going to be knocked. It's Aldi, isn't it? It's Aldi doing a beer. And I've heard this Hop Foundation get a little bit of a... They don't, it's all part of the Aldi brand. They don't really produce that many good beers. But think about what the beer is doing. Think about what the beer is saving. It's saving the bread literally being thrown away. Now, I'm not going to say I'm a big sort of like advocate of save the world and all that sort of thing. I think the world can look after itself. I think it's more about what we do. I like to recycle. I don't like to litter. I like to make sure my waste is separated correctly. I do my bit. We tend to have a big load of recycling and only one bag of sort of like non-recyclable waste in basically in the week. We never get through them one bin bag. But if we have some spare bread, Janie the other week, when some bread were going off, made a bread pudding. That sort of thing. We can have if the bread's just turning, we can have toast. It's really very rare that we think that bread's gone off, we're going to chuck it away, because I'll tend to make sure I get it ate. And if you know it's going to turn, you think we need to get it ate. We need to do something with it, and eat it. It's not because I'm tight or whatever. I just don't like throwing food away. So the fact that there's literally loaves of bread that obviously don't get sold because they can't predict what's going to sell and what ain't going to sell. And these are coming in, stepping up. We'll have that bread and we're going to make it into beer. And let me tell you, I think making bread into beer, using the bread to probably get, I don't know, would you get the yeast that's in the beer? Because if you squidge some of the bread, it will turn a bit doughy. I don't quite know how they do it, whether they put malts in as well, like a pale malt, or they just like have the bread straight in the mash. I don't know. It's interesting to find out how they do it. I'll probably contact them and ask them. But I think, to be fair, I've had a lot worse beers at 3.4% from top quality craft breweries. I've drank a 3.4% beer that has been a hell of a lot worse from that. If you crush it down, there's a slight, tiny little bit soapiness on that. But it's not anything offensive. Yeah, just if you crush it down, there is a tiny bit of soapiness in it. But that can come from some of the hops. But it's not offensive. I've had some beers that are really soapy, really quite offensive in the soapy, like you're literally drinking fairy wash-up liquid. You know what I mean? But I tell you what, when you finish drinking them, your insides are clean as the whistle. You know what I mean? But you do blow bubbles out your arse. But that's what it is. But look, head retention's still good, all the way down. I mean, you know what I mean? It's not lost its head, has it? Still got the head. It's probably a little bit too cold outside to appreciate, but this, in the Spencer Arms now, we're at 11 degrees, so I've had the fan heater on. But when I first came in here, it was 2 degrees in here, and this beer was sat in here, so I put the fan heater on just to raise the temperature a little bit, because I didn't want to be drinking this beer at 2 degrees. So I reckon, if more in the summertime, this is almost like I'm probably going to stock up on this. £1.99 as well. £1.99 for the can. A nice bit of can art as well. I really like this. So far I've not tasted any bread. If you didn't tell me this was made with a tiger bread, I would never have guessed. Cammy got it. He said he could taste the tiger bread. But I can't. Palates are different. But I can certainly taste the hops. Taste the citrus flavour, the orange zest being quite powerful. Nice sweet malts in there to balance it out. 3.4%. Tastes a bit bigger than that. I'm impressed with that. I'm gonna give that like a thumbs up for that. So yeah, it's been Speno. Take care.